Hi there, this is me, author H.L. Burke, and it had been a while since I did a vlog, and I thought I would come on here and just kind of rant and rave a little bit about something that's been bothering me for some time. Now, what's been bothering me for some time is just somebody's opinion on a web video that I saw that I thought was so off base that I almost commented that I didn't want to get caught up in a YouTube comment war, and I decided not to because it was obviously just clickbait. But anyway, there was this, it was a Cracked video. I'm sure you guys are probably familiar with that. They're a YouTube web channel / website that they make funny articles and, top 10 lists and stuff. So not really serious by any means, but they had this, thing about how, it was the title of the video, I think, was Star Wars is Sexist. Okay, now the point to the video basically was that Princess Leia is relegated to a minor role or something in the third movie, and there aren't a lot of female characters in Star Wars, but honestly, if you kind of think about it, there aren't a lot of characters in Star Wars. Beyond Han, Luke, Leia, who really matters? I mean, of course Chewie's there, but Chewie doesn't have any lines. If Chewie was a woman, he wouldn't pass the Bechdel test. I'm probably saying that wrong. C-3PO and R2, for all we know, R2 is female. Why not? I mean, can't tell. So there's not a whole lot of characters in Star Wars that really matter, let alone female characters. I mean, the rest are just kind of like, window dressing. But anyway, their point was that, okay, and let me try to remember their theory, and I'm probably going to get it wrong, and maybe I'm oversimplifying what they were saying, but they said in Return of the Jedi that Leia is relegated to a secondary position and that she abandons the cause of the rebels in order to save her man, and that puts her purpose into saving the man and becoming kind of a sex toy for Jabba the Hutt. Now, we can all argue about the merits or the lack thereof of the chainmail bikini that Leia is in. I like Carrie Fisher's take on that. Giant slug put her in it, and she killed him for it, so yay. But anyway, my main point on that is it is so annoying to me because it totally ignores the fact that Leia is not the only one who abandons the rebel cause to save Han. Luke abandons the rebel cause to save Han. Chewbacca's there. Lando's there. C-3PO, R2-D2, everyone in the main cast, everyone of importance in the rebel cause, everyone whose name you basically remember, except for maybe Wedge Antilles, who I always admired for surviving the entire trilogy without being a main player. I always thought Wedge deserved more screen time. I kind of had a crush on him in an odd way. But anyway, everyone is there rescuing Han. It's not just Leia. So why is Leia the only one who is judged for abandoning the rebel cause for going to rescue her friend? And let's take Lover out of the equation, because yeah, her and Han are an item, but if he were just her friend, wouldn't she do the same? If it were Luke who was in the same condition, would she do the same? Luke abandons his training. It's against the advice of Yoda and even Obi-Wan, who's come back from the dead to tell him not to go rescue Han. And Leia, of course, there's both of them there, from the Cloud City. But for some reason, we're only judging Leia for going to rescue Han on Tatooine. Why? Why does Luke get a free pass? Why can Luke abandon everything? Why can Lando, abandon everything? He abandoned the entire Cloud City. Though I guess it was being taken over by the Emperor. Anyway, but, okay, whatever. Okay, so this is my thought. We don't judge the... Bad now, Corin, sorry. Sorry, my daughter was, getting out of bed when she shouldn't be. It's the middle of the night. But anyway, so... Okay, so where was I? Okay, so... Now, we can look at this that Leia failed in her attempt to rescue Han, but I really don't think that was the issue, because if you look at the way everybody's in position during Luke's big attack over the Sarlacc pit, I'm pretty sure it was intentional. I think Leia was meant to be captured. I think she knew what she was going to get into. And the fact that she knew that she was going to be basically dressed up in a bikini and put next to a giant slug, yeah, that's a pretty brave thing to do by choice. It's one thing when someone takes that away from you against your will and forces you into that position, but Leia chose that. She decided to allow herself to be put in that position in order to save someone of importance to her. And let's take the Lover thing out of a context. Yeah, her and Han were an item, but she probably would have done the same for Luke. I like to think she would have done the same for Chewie. maybe R2-D2 and C-3PO, though C-3PO I was kind of sick of him by the end of the original trilogy, honestly. I'd never really got into that humorous thing. Anyway, so why do we judge her so harshly for that? Now, if you look at it, Lando, he's obviously getting himself in the position. Chewbacca tells Han flat out that there's going to be a rescue when he gets put in position. He's allowing himself to be captured and put in jail, the same as Leia is, except maybe in a more degrading outfit. That's the difference. Han does not have, or Chewie does not have to wear a bikini. It would be so funny to see Chewie in a bikini. Anyway, so why do we judge Leia? Why does Leia have to have some sort of proof that, her part in that was worthwhile? Lando, Luke, the only one who I think might not have been in on that was, of course, C-3PO. C-3PO has no idea what to do, but that's because C-3PO is not trustworthy. C-3PO would blab the whole thing, but R2 obviously knows. So everybody else is in position, so why do we think that Leia wasn't? Leia was in on this. So it was a grand plan, and it wasn't just... I kind of like to think that her and Luke and Lando all came up with this simultaneously. We don't see the thought process. There might be some extended universe stuff about that. If I'm wrong, if there is, you can tell me, but I don't know for sure. But anyway, so it was a plan to save their friend, and why do we judge her for that? That does not make sense to me. That we would judge the woman for going after her friend when the guys get a free pass to abandon the cause, the rebel cause, the great and holy rebel cause. And I know Lando was not part of that, but he eventually becomes part of it somehow. So I'm guessing that there must have been some sort of conversion to the light side for Lando in between Empire and things. And I know there's that whole Shadow of the Emperor thing. I did not read that. I'm sorry. The Extended Universe, I read the Thrawn trilogy and a couple Kevin J. Anderson of them and a couple smaller youth ran things, but I did not read as much Extended Universe. And since it's not canon anymore, I can say I don't care. But anyway, so that was my point, is that Leia, being a strong woman does not mean you're a hot, heartless B-word. I mean, what sort of person would abandon a friend? I mean, even if you take lover out of the category, and there's nothing wrong with having a lover. Strong women are not necessarily a lonely woman. Strong women can be married. Strong women can have relationships. Strong women can have children. In fact, that makes them stronger because it takes strength to trust in someone else. And I'm petting my Bruce cat right now. He's the most cute thing. Anyway, he's right here. But anyway, it takes strength to find, your ability to be vulnerable to someone in that way. And so I wish we could get past this idea that strong women are, cold, unapproachable things, or, shallow creatures who only see sex as a means to physical pleasure. They're not. I mean, you can be strong and to have close relationships and, be in love with someone. And even if you're not in love with someone, you don't want to abandon friends, or if we replace the relationship of lover with any other meaningful relationship, if you were rescuing a brother, a father, a friend, a child, it would be strong. So why is it not strong to rescue a lover? That doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, she does, and she rescues him, and she's part of it. And yeah, she does have to wear a demeaning bikini, but honestly, that's mostly marketing. Everybody wanted to probably see Carrie Fisher in a bikini in those days. Who wouldn't? Bruce is a good cat. But anyway, this other part, I think, is that she kind of takes a background in the second part of Return of the Jedi. For some reason, I never quite understood what happened between Tatooine and Endor. Somehow, Han slips back into the Rebel Alliance and has time to arrange himself as part of this mission. And Lando has time to arrange himself as part of this mission. And Leia seems surprised by this. Like, somehow she wasn't there during this time. I don't know how that happened. And Luke, also, he just kind of disappears and goes to Dagobah. But either way, they all go. And I'm not sure how that happened. There must have been some sort of time gap between Tatooine and Endor, because I don't see this guy showing up after being missing for however long and saying, oh, here I am. Can I be a general now? Doesn't make sense to me. So there's got to be some story there that I'm missing. But anyway, yeah, she takes a second of command position, but it's not a big deal. She's not always been General Leia. At that point, she was still Princess Leia. And she's been important, but she has never been the supreme leader of the Rebel Alliance. She's just been one of many. And being willing to follow Han's lead on a thing is not, I think, a diminishment. Luke follows his lead as well, at least for a point, until he goes off on his own. And to some extent, why don't we say that Leia abandons the cause to go save her lawyer or her lover when Luke does technically abandon the cause and put them in greater danger? He says, they can detect him, that Vader can detect him. But he's pretty much admitting he is there by going straight to Vader. He could take off and go anywhere else. He could lead Vader on a wild goose chase across the galaxy, just steal the shuttle, go to Tatooine, and chase, make Vader chase after him. That could happen. But instead he goes right to Vader, which is pretty much an admission that there are rebels on the planet, which, he claims to be alone, but come on, nobody's going to believe that. But anyway, so honestly, one of my problems with Return of the Jedi has always been that Han is kind of bumbling in Return of the Jedi, don't you think? I mean, he goes and he thinks he's going to sneak up on the stormtrooper, and he gets captured by the little fuzzy teddy bears. I mean, Leia meets the teddy bears and somehow immediately spawns an alliance. And Han gets captured by the fuzzy teddy bears, and it's kind of humiliating. Han, for that part, is kind of a little bit playing the buffoon, and I never understood why they did that, because I love Han. I think Han should be capable. Han does kind of fly by the seat of his pants. He's kind of overconfident, but he is capable, and I never understood why in Return of the Jedi that he is a little bit less, though, so. Which is why it's one of the reasons it's my second favorite maybe third favorite. It's tied with New Hope for my third position. Empire Strikes Back, bar none, is the best Star Wars movie. I love that movie so much. I love you, I know. But anyway, so this ramble's getting a little long now, but my point is that Leia is competent, and she does something that I think that we would judge her for not doing if she didn't do it. I mean, picking at her for going to rescue a loved one is just stupid, because if she didn't do it, we would all say, oh, that cold, heartless creature who abandoned them. If you put anyone else in that position and tell them to, turn their back on their loved one in that position, we would judge them harshly for it, right? Right? I would say that, abandoning your friend is worse than temporarily putting aside your political motivations to end the Empire. The needs of many in the, thing goes so far, but we're human. And that's kind of the point of the Star Wars trilogy. I mean, the original, it's not going to call the original, that's sacrilege. The prequels where they're all about detachment and stuff, I never was able to sync with that. But the original Star Wars, especially Han knows that he's risking himself for that. And he's not about the big picture. He's about his friends. He's not drawn back to fight and kill and the Death Star because of this great political battle. He can survive without that. The entire galaxy can go to hell in a handbasket around him, and he will be fine because he's a survivor. But Luke and Leia, who he's developed an attachment with and an admiration for during that fight, they need him, and that's why he comes back, and that's what I admired about him. And like I said, Luke, when he's in Dagobah, he's told not to go rescue Han and Leia, but he does, because he can't not rescue his friends. But Leia, when she goes to rescue Han, why is that a problem? Why? It's not. It's just somebody making a clickbait video to try to, stir things up on the internet. And I get that. It's clicks. But, I just wish they would use a fair scale to judge that sort of thing. Because it's not fair that women characters should not have to be held to the standard that we wouldn't put to male characters. I mean, the strong female character, I wish we'd get away from that. We want real female characters. We want female characters who are believable and who sometimes make mistakes, and who sometimes and they definitely have weaknesses, because if you have a character with no weaknesses, what is that? And characters who aren't afraid to, be a little vulnerable. And I think that's what we were trying to get away from with the male characters, this strong, silent type. And there's a place for that, but I don't want to make it so that it bothers me that we take away the nature of someone being caring and loving, and we view that as a weakness. That is not a weakness. Being caring and loving and concerned about someone other than yourself is definitely a strength. And that's all I had to ramble about, and I somehow lasted 15 minutes on that. Can you imagine? Well, thank you for hanging out with me.